Hello and welcome back to what is sure to be an exciting video. So what we have here, this is the Redmax 5000 cylinder that I ported up, spent a lot of time and effort on, only to have it underperform, and as well as whenever I took it off to break it down and everything, the piston no longer goes inside the cylinder. Now, it went together slick as can be, but now it won't go in there. What caused this? Well, I figured it out very quickly after I posted the video of multiple problems, Redmax 5000, something like that. And the first person to actually get a hold of me and open my eyes was Kevin Z, let's call him. I don't know what his name is on the channel or if he even comments or anything, but he got a hold of me. And he was saying something about the skirt's too long and blah, blah, blah. I was dismissing him completely because I knew that I had cut the skirt. What I had done was I had taken 40 thousandths off of the base of the cylinder, and then in return, to accommodate that, I took 45 thousandths, maybe even 50 thousandths off of the skirt of the cylinder. So I had already cut the skirt, so I knew that what he was saying, what he was preaching at me was just wrong. He's just wrong. But he kept it up. He kept it up, and all of a sudden, something triggered inside my tiny little brain, and I went, oh my God, I didn't account for the base gasket. I'll be damned. So, I say I took 40 thousandths off of the base of the cylinder, but by removing this, it's more like I took 70 thousandths off the base of the cylinder. So I should have taken 75 thousandths off of the skirt. So the skirt was too long. And whenever I bolted it down, what it did, something had to give. This got bent. Now, I never bolted it down tight at all in doing all of my readings and stuff. And so when I put it back together, then I really cinched everything down and add on top of that a little bit of heat from the saw running. Bada bing, bada boom, it's effed. And then whenever I took it apart, I do remember it being kind of stiff to come off of there, but not too bad. But yeah, like I could pound that in if I wanted, but no. Anyway, so what we got to figure out is A, do we cut off this skirt completely? I don't want to do that because that skirt is needed for piston support. I want to keep it. Or B, can we possibly bend it a little bit? This right here is a pipe expander used for exhausts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in right there, just on the skirt. Okay? And now, let me go ahead and get this open up a little bit so it'll quit moving. Now, if I was just to ram it now and tighten this thing up, this end here would just swell. All right, so I've got to put something on this end to keep it small also. So what I have here is a coupling for cast iron pipe or black iron pipe. All right, we are there. So it doesn't have to go much. Let's see what we can do. I better do this. Let's see what that did. Probably nothing. Probably have to do a lot harder than that, but I don't know. We'll see. Brilliant! Sorry, I know I act like a stupid, dumb goofball, but I am. Look at that. Salvation, salvation. All it needed was a little bit, just a little bit of coaxing. That's freaking awesome. So now I guess I could measure it, but I mean, with stuff like this, I don't think my caliper is good enough. I really don't. Because this is just a $30 caliper I got at Harbor Freight. We're reading 169, let's call it. And the piston is also 169. Maybe I better bend it out just a little bit more. You know? Why have I got flying gnats in here? Just a hair more, just a hair. I got mosquitoes in here. I need to get some off spray. So just so you guys see what I'm doing with this coupling right here, if I was just to screw it in like that, well, just this end swells. There are two tapered wedges on either side of this expander here. So what I have to do is I have to put something harder than the aluminum on this end so that it won't expand. Any expansion that's going to happen is going to be down here on the piston skirt. All right, here we go. Let's give it a couple more bops. Ugga, ugga. That's what this is. All right. Now let's measure. We are at 169.50. So it's 50 thousandths of an inch bigger than it was. That seems like a lot to me, but it's only down here on this skirt. Let's see if it'll even fit. This is the original build-up saw. Let it sit right down on there. So the skirt is not too big for the cases. Now what I have to do is I have to cut this cylinder skirt off, and that's going to change my numbers and everything. Yeah, I don't know what it's going to do. Probably instead of a 107 exhaust, I'm going to have a 109 exhaust. And instead of a 81 intake, I'm probably going to have like an 84 intake or something. I don't know. I don't know how much it's going to change, but I'll let you know. And hopefully we'll still get some good use out of this cylinder. Hopefully. We'll see. But that's a pretty neat trick, huh? 100%. Yours truly. I came up with that shit. If anybody else wants to use it, you can. But give me some credit. So now, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to machine that skirt off a little bit more. And we'll get back at it. Hopefully we can still get a salvageable saw out of this and it'll still run good. Now let's go do the timing advance and see if we make any gains. That's complete stock timing. It was doing 12,000 in the cut. Finally, jeez, it's been a long road with this guy right here. I don't think that it's anything like massively impressive, I'll be honest, you know. I don't know what the times are gonna show. I don't know, but I do know that I measured it and it was pulling 12,000 in the cut. So what have we learned? We learned that it's absolutely critical to cut the cylinder skirt on these things, even if it's just a base gasket delete. I have heard this and done this and everything. It's hard to remember everything all at once, all of the time. I can't do it. I'm just human, right? I'm not seeing one of these things every single day. The last time I ported one of these, it was a 545 Husqvarna, and that was, I don't know, 2 years ago. And so you just can't remember everything all the time. But even if you do a base gasket delete, you need to be able to take some material off of that cylinder skirt. And anyways, so absolutely critical to take that off. We also learned that you can use a pipe expander. It's an exhaust pipe expander. I bought that thing at Harbor Freight to swell out that skirt if you need to. But I don't hear any piston slap. I think it's good to go. I think that this thing is going to definitely need break-in, and then once that happens, and I'm certain that it's a good solid saw, I'll offer this thing up for sale. You know, but as it is, I'm pretty happy. The other thing too, the crank seal. It is acting a little bit wonky right there, I'll admit that. It doesn't fall right straight back down to idle. Could be because I got a little bit too much intake going on. I don't know. But the crank seal over here that I found that was leaking. All right, so these things, because they're an X-Torque setup, whenever you block off the carburetor, you can't block off the bottom side, right? Where the Strato butterflies are, or butterfly is. You can't block that off, not, at least not conventionally, with that just a simple one piece of rubber. And so I couldn't do a vacuum test. What I had to do was a pressure test, and I was charging the cylinder with air and getting it to blow out through this side, and I had soapy bubbles going on. Well, Charlie pointed out to me that with these things, you're never looking for a gas leak, you're looking for an air leak. If it was leaking out, that'd be a gas leak, all right? Whenever, you know, if it's just sitting there running and that's leaking out, then you're gonna have a pool of gas, right? You're looking for an air leak where it's sucking air in. So the pressure that I was losing out of the crank seal might have been perfectly acceptable and normal, because these things actually operate under a suction, really. I mean, completely, you know, and they suck air in. So the seals are designed to stop air from going in, not necessarily stopping air from going out. I mean, they do. There is pressure there, but it's so minuscule. The amount of pressure that is built up in there versus the amount of suction is quite a bit different. But yeah, so I will run this thing and break it in and make sure that it's good and solid. But once I do, yeah, I'll offer this up for sale.